Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another interesting message. My name is Anthony Milton. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'll be broadcasting from here, but then I'll upload this particular message to my other channel. I normally will do things by sending it to Thoughts in AM, but I'm going to send this message and upload it to my other channel called The Hidden Tears of a Black Male, because it will be about something like hidden tears, and I will explain that in a minute. Let me welcome those who will join me. Okay. Now, when I say hidden tears, what is I'm talking about? When I say that, we all have went through issues in our lives, problems, circumstances, death, marriage, birth, whatever you can think of that made us cry and we felt bad about it. And in doing so, there are tears. But then what are the hidden tears? Tears of that we're going through depression, oppression, spousal abuse, verbal abuse, relationship abuse, abuse where you can't really call the police department to report it. You can, but they're going to say, where's the evidence? So a lot of women, I'm going to use women for example, have experienced, let me turn the speaker off, women will experience emotional abuse, and they will clearly call their girlfriends or mom, and they will share what they are going through and what they had experienced, and they get good advice from their girlfriends and tell them what to do and how to handle the situation, how to handle the problem. But then men's are a different story. I remember a while back I suggested that we men do have issues, we have problems, we've been through things. Some men are married right now and are experiencing spousal abuse from their wife, verbally being abused by their wife or girlfriend. Some may have hit men and abused them in a certain thing, in a certain way. And some of them may share with their grandfather, their father, but normally they'll keep it to themselves because they don't want their friends to know that I'm a man and I'm being beaten up verbally and physically by a woman. And for those, so that's the 25-pound elephant behind the closed door. It's like men need to come out from behind the door to begin to say, yes, I'm experiencing some type of physical abuse, emotional abuse, and verbal abuse from my spouse. And when we understand that, then we can help others. There have been a lot of seminars where women have gone to seminars pertaining to women only, where they hear messages from different speakers, helping women to address their needs, helping women to understand what they're going through, and hopefully they can become a better person. But there are very rarely conferences that solely exclusively for men, where men can come to, where men can go to and share what they're feeling with other men. And it can be very helpful if men will open up and say, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to allow myself to share. Some men may have been raped by their parents or raped by another man or experienced something in the prison, experienced something in prison, and it's still troubling them, and they're taken to alcohol or drugs or start acting out that lifestyle after they got out of prison, and they don't want to share, they don't want to seek counseling, and they just shut themselves up and pretend to still on the surface be a man, or whatever you consider a man. To be a man is on the outside, I'm a male, but does that define a man? We can say, yes, I'm a man, but does that really define me? We got some men dress up in dresses. We got some men claim to be or say they're a woman, and it can go vice versa. Some women claim that they have men tendency, but that's not where I'm coming from. So what I'm saying is, how do we define who we are? Who are you? Who are you? Not who they say you are, but who are you? How do you define yourself? Do you define yourself based on the clothing that you buy, the tennis shoes, the car, or your appearance, or your houses, or your financial bank account, or your college degree? How do you define you? What do other people say? Say your parents. You say I'm dating so and so. They say, where do you know that person from? Do you know anything about them? Who is that person? Where have you met? When did you met? How do you met? Why are you with that person? So you get the who, what, when, where, and why, and how as it pertains to whomever. But I'm asking you, who are you? Who do they say you are? When we have jobs, and this is going to be a part two, but I'm laying the foundation as I get into the message. God willing, I'll be back Thursday and finish it, or maybe continue part three. But who are you? Who do they say you are? In the Bible, the scripture says Jesus said, who do they say that I am? And we know the verses, those who know and follow the word of God. So who are you? Who are you? Not who you want to be. You should not look at football players and basketball players and singers and movie stars and say, I want to be like that person, because that may not be within you. You got to find out what you like, what inspires you, what motivates you, what you feel that you can accomplish. Not say, I want to make $1 million or I want to be rich, because those things come by education in like a previous message I did. So who are you? How are you defining yourself? If you find yourself defining yourself based on what other people said and what you see on the TV and social media, and people have killed themselves because they want to get so many likes on TV and social media, and they fall prey to this social media viral video kind of thing. So they do all kind of stuff, and some people have killed themselves doing certain things to get a viral video. So who are you? Who did they say you are? If any one of us died tonight and say so and so died, they're gonna say, who is that? Who is that person? What are they named? Who are they related to? What part of the family are they from? How do you know that person? What did that person do? What job did it been? What happened? Was it a long-term sickness? When did it die? Where did it die? How did it die? So you get all these questions and be like, and then someone may say, well, so-and-so, so-and-so. So when an individual dies, how would that person be remembered? How would that person be remembered? Would that person be remembered as someone on the street living a life of crime? How would that person be remembered? How would you want to be remembered? Would you like to be remembered with good thoughts and doing good things for the general public, and you take your eyes off of self? Because tomorrow is not promised to you and I. So who are you? Who do they say that you are? Who do you say that you are? Someone walk up and say, who are you? You say, my name is Anthony Milton. But who are you? When we go to job interviews, they ask you the question, say, what is your strength and what are your weaknesses? I went to one, and I'll get to that part in part two. They ask you, what is your strength? What is your weaknesses? Do you tell them your strength to get the job and say, well, I don't really know I have any weaknesses? That's a lie. I remember saying that, because I'll never focus on my weaknesses in a way of someone asking me a question. So what are your weaknesses? We all can point to our strength. We all can point to whatever. But who do you think you are? Who are you? What is your belief about you? Don't look at yourself. Don't look for you in someone else. Don't look for someone else to define you. You must find yourself by looking at you. Look in the mirror. Examine. Critique. Look at the pros and cons. Write them down if you have to. What defines you? What makes you you? What are you doing with the life that has given to you? Are you blessing other people, helping other people, encouraging other people? Are you being selfish, only thinking about self? What's in it for me and how it can benefit me? I'm not going to help them because I'm not getting that. But what are you doing with the life that you have right now? So who are you? Do you know who are you? What are you doing with your life? What are you going to do with the life that you've been given? So we go to a job interview, and I will say this probably in my next Monday, and I had an opportunity to live in California. And I was going for a job interview, and in this job interview, you had to take a series of tests. Behavioral tests where they score you based on how you answer the question, and then they come up with a conclusion based on how you ask the question, and then they say, well, based on how you ask the question, this is the job that's better. They find your weaknesses and your strengths based on how you answer the question. They even got it down to where you answer a question in such and such a way to try to make yourself more than what you think that you are. I did that because the test said that, and I admit that, yeah, I was trying not to be truthful and just answer the question any old kind of way, but it still revealed who I am. And that was done many, many years ago. I'll share that with you Monday. And I said, wow. And I found it because I kept it. I was disappointed. Excuse me. I was disappointed in a way of the results. And I said, I'm going to prove them wrong. But that behavior test that I took for a job revealed me. It revealed me. I had to admit that what was said about me was the truth. I may not like it. So do you know you? From that behavior testing, I discover who I am. I discover me. So when someone says, Anthony, do you know you? I ask you to someone, I try this to whomever you come to, your husband, your wife, or whomever you're around, or your children. Say, do you know you? And they're going like, what are you talking about? Do you know you? Do you know you? And if the person responds by identifying themselves with other people, then don't let that answer go. If they say, well, I'm a rapper, I want to be a rapper. No, that's not what I asked you. Do you know you? Well, I want to be a football player. No, a basketball player. No, do you know you? I bet you, not bet you, but I asked the question. If you ask someone, do you know you? They're going to be startled that you asking that specific question. Do you have a wrong belief about you? Do you have a wrong belief about you? About who you think you are? Do you have a wrong belief about you because someone said that you or this person? What are your weaknesses? What weaknesses are you willing to confess, to reveal, that will reveal you to you? Yeah, for example, I did not finish school. I did finish school, but just throwing this as an example. Do you know you? Yes, I did not finish school. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a fornicator. I'm into illicit sex. I'm into gang banging. I'm into life of crime. Whatever you can think of. That is how the person defines themselves as they know themselves. You must look at yourself and recognize your strengths and your weaknesses. Take advantage of your strength in a positive way and use that positive strength that will help you to know you. And when you help yourself knowing you, then you will be able to help other people to know themselves also. But the key is, the one of the foundation that really bring this together is knowing who you are and ready to admit when someone reveals to you your faults, your indeficiency, your lack of knowledge, your lack of understanding, your lack of comprehension, and they say you need to go back to school to get education, to get a college degree, or just get a GED, because you're not getting any further with not having a high school diploma. You can only have mediocre jobs. So do you know you? I must admit this message applies to me like all of my messages applies to me in some way, form, or fashion. You hear me say me. You never hear me say y'all and them and those people. I'm always using myself in the message. So do you know you? I'm beginning to know me. And at times when I look in the mirror, am I happy with me? At times I'm not. Am I disappointed in me? Yes, I am. Do I regret certain things? Yes, I am. But because of my action of not knowing me, I had to go through a lot of things to experience understanding about who I am to bring me to what I'm doing now. And one, I throw this as an appetizer. All my videos that I have done on the hidden tears of black men, I think there's 140 something. All the videos that I've done on thoughts in the AM, the 8 books that I wrote, my web page that being upgraded, he still speaks now listen.org. He still speaks now listen.org. Everything is lowercase. He still speaks now listen.org. The hidden tears of black male, thoughts in the AM, and he still speaks now listen YouTube channel. In my behavioral testing that I did at the age of 33, that's how long it was. At the age of 33, I sat down for a job interview, and I had to take a series of tests. So they want to see what, similar when you go in the military, you take a test, and then they discover that you're good at certain things. When I went in the military and I had to take a test, I didn't have a particular skill, but when I took the test, I scored enough that they said, you make a good police officer. So I was a military police officer in the military. I said, wow. And that led me to be a police officer in the outside world. So that test did reveal me to me. And so getting back to where I'm going. So in that behavioral testing that I took, showed me one thing I'm sharing with you now, that I have the ability to encourage, to inspire, to take charge, to uplift people, to help others, to be whatever and whatever. I'll explain when I read it. And I said, wow, I am doing that. And then they say my weaknesses are, I'll share that with you Monday. And I agree that the weaknesses that they share that was on the test is truth. Then I studied some more and it tell me how I can improve on my weaknesses. Then when I read the testing, then it shared something else. And I said, well, I overcome that. So I didn't let it hold me down. Then my daughter has sent me a link to take another a month ago. Said, Dad, take this and let me know what it is. Only 15 minutes. So I took the test. If you can read it, and they explain it in a certain way, and they tell you what certain letters mean. And then they will ask you a question, and then they'll give you an example. What are they asking you? And according to your response, you get, I think it's like, when it's finally finished, I think it turned out to be like 23 pages. And you're supposed to pick which one of those categories, intuitive or intuition or whatever, you pick one of those categories that applies to you. And I must admit, the same thing happened. I saw myself in that testing. Because I got to learn about me. Brothers and sisters, before you and I can go any further in our own life, we must have an understanding about who we are. Not who they say we are, but who are you? Who are you? What do you want to know about you? What do you want to know about you? You should want to know your strength and your weaknesses. When do you know about you? It's like a person say, well, when did you met that person? What do you want to know about you? Why do you want to know about you? And how do you want to know about you? Who, what, when, where, and why, and how do you want to know about you? Brothers and sisters, we need to understand self before we can be in a position to help others. When we begin to understand self and understand that we must know ourselves, we won't be taken advantage of, because we will educate ourselves based on our strength and our weaknesses. We will begin to apply our apply our strength and work on our weaknesses and bring it up to a respectable level of changing from weaknesses. Because when we stay in the realm of our weaknesses, we're not helping nobody. It limits our choices when we focus on our weaknesses. We should be looking at what are we good at? What are we good at doing? If you are unhappy in a job and you're not getting anywhere in that job and you feel you should be doing something else, begin to question. What are you good at? It's never too late. You are somebody. You've been put on this earth. If you listen to me right now, it was just the day that you should be hearing this message. Do you know you? Not what other people say who you are. But do not let some people define you. Your materialistic things do not define you. A Gucci bag, Jordan shoes, and all this expensive stuff, the gold and the bling and the car and all this stuff, do not define you. Those stuff are temporarily. They can be destroyed. You can lose them. Someone can rob you. They can catch on fire. But what's in your mind, you can only lose it if you don't use it. So begin to think, who are you? Why do you want to know you? If you are struggling in relationships, if you're struggling to find a job, if you're struggling not able to hold on a job, if you're struggling to find a job, begin to this first test. Look in the mirror, have a pencil and a pad, and write down, say, have the pros and the cons, or the negative or the positive, and begin to say, this is a positive, this is a negative. What do you like to do? What makes you feel good? Not look at what you want to do to be rich. Not look at what you want to do to whatever. But look at things in your life to say, how can I better myself? And if we go down that path, it's okay. How can I change me? I must change the way I think. How can I change me? By accepting the truth about me that will help me to know me. I know that I have listened to other people have stirred me wrong, but I must begin to think differently. I must go to the Word of God because I'm a believer in God. I must go to a grandmother, a grandparent. Someone with wisdom can give me good, godly advice, and I will apply that in my research, and I'll make the decision to do what needs to be done. So do you know you? Begin to find out you. If you are struggling and repeating the same thing over and over and over in your life, is it because you don't know who you are? People get disappointed. Young people get disappointed. They don't become a rapper. That's not them. I'm not a good ball player. That's not them. I'm not a singer. That's not them. I'm not a movie star. I'm not an actor. We all have a gift. We all have we all have a godly gift that we need to look in the mirror of self and admit our faults. Yeah, we can talk about our strength all day long. But are we so quick to shut down our weaknesses? I'm thinking about when the COVID-19 is over with, and maybe before the COVID-19 go away. I'm thinking about, I mentioned this before last year, that I thought about, you know what, Anthony? You need to do like a seminar only for men. Why men? Is I'm prejudiced? No. Because women have seminars for women only. We need to start having seminars for men where they can come and give their testimony and share that their struggle with an abusive relationship. They have been raped. They have been attacked. They have been attacked verbally and physically and beaten up. When I was in law enforcement, I close by saying this. I never responded to a call where a man called and said, could you please send the police off to my house because my wife is beating me up, or my girlfriend. You get it from the women will call and say, me and my boyfriend or husband is fighting. Please send a police officer to my house. So I have gone to a couple of people's houses. I have lived in an apartment complex and heard noise out to my door. I peeped through the peephole, and this short girl, maybe 5'1", had this tall guy, 6-something, had him like this, her hand in his chest, and say something. I dare you to say something. And the guy did not say anything. So I was going to open up the door and say, no, I better not open the door, because if I open up the door, he's going to be embarrassed. He may try something, and she may beat him down when I closed up the door. I responded to a call where boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, I'm not sure which one, complained about the woman would take the money, the boyfriend, the man would take the money and go out and buy either drugs or prostitutes. And the woman would take the money to do something. So they both was complaining about how they was going to the ATM machine taking money out. So I thought I'd talk to them, separate them apart, discuss their issues, give advice and suggestions. and thought it rolled off into the sunset. Then I got a second call. We go right back, and I don't like to go back to a second time to a call because it makes me feel I didn't do my job effectively. But I knew I did it effectively. But they started something else. And so I'm standing outside with both couples, and they were telling me that she's saying that he won't tell me what he did with the money. And then she turned around and looked at him and said, you go in the house right now and you sit on the couch. And you think of the reason and tell me where did our money go. And I'll go like, wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture? I said, you talking to him like that? She said, he know what the deal is. He turned around and went in the house. And I guess he went and sat on the couch. I said, you acting like a man. She said, yeah, I'm the man in this relationship. So yes, men are verbally abused. Some men don't say it. They tolerate it because they don't want to go to divorce or lose anything. So they get a girlfriend and pick up the slack or vice versa. So men are out there experiencing emotional issues. So they don't tell anyone. So they go to drugs, illicit sex, or a backup girl, a sidekick, or whatever to relieve the pain. So I think it would be very helpful to have a male seminar where guys can come out and say, yes, I'm being abused. And men say, wow, you? I've known police officers that killed themselves because they couldn't adjust to the fact that people looked up to them as, you the man. I want to be just like you. But they kill themselves. And some people will kill themselves before they let you know the other side of themselves, male or female. No, people don't want because they think about, they're going to say, this woman beat him up. And they have this mental perception of, I don't build myself up as this person. So if I tell someone that I'm being abused, they're going to look at what? But a testimony will help other men. So I'm thinking about working. And what do you think about that? Should I do maybe a Zoom conference? Maybe people don't want to get together. We can still get together and have social distancing outside. I think about people say, well, Anthony, who are you to do this? Because I'm beginning to know me. I'm beginning to know what I'm capable of doing. I'm beginning to know the real Anthony. I know I cannot be this and that person because I'm not that person. So I must fall back on and utilize the gift that God gave me. Go to my YouTube channel, The Hidden Tears of a Black Male. Hit the video section and scroll down 100 and something videos. All those videos that you see, the title of those videos are spontaneous videos where I will think of a topic and I think it'd be like one, and then trying to be a part 1, part 2, part 3, maybe 10 series of messages on one particular subject. All my messages I've given come from a spontaneous position. So I know me. That's what I'm called to do because I'm good at it. I never was one to want to listen to myself. I never want to hear myself talk. I never want to see myself on TV or just do public speaking. And I've done a few when I was in law enforcement. But then I begin to express myself better because I grew it up. When I was young, I used to stutter very badly. Words like shrimp and street and dough and they. I still struggle with certain words. And one teacher recognized that and she sent me, volunteered I should go to the speech therapist school. And I went there and they taught me how to slow down and repeat words. And it helped me a lot. So she saw me. She saw the potential I had. She offered me something. I had to say, is she right or is she wrong? I took up her offer. If I had not taken her up on the offer because of my pride, and I don't want anyone, and even the people that knew my friends knew that I could not talk effectively, and some people might say I don't talk good now. That's their choice. But I know I would not be where I'm at today. So I will write down my thoughts on a piece of paper prior to talking to females. So when I say, what is your name, where you live, what's your phone number, I limit myself in how I will discuss whatever with the woman. I even had a little note written down a certain set of pre-selected questions. And I would memorize those things. So when I did meet a young lady, that's all I would say. That's how bad I was. I used to do that kind of stuff when I was talking. So I grew out of it through training. First, I had to admit that I had an issue. I had to know a problem. So someone came to me. Someone saw something in me, but they had to point it out to me. And then I had to recognize within myself, Anthony, do you know you? Do you know the potential you have? I'm asking those of you in the sound of my voice, do you know the true potential that you have? Not what someone said that you have, not what someone say you might have, not what someone thinks you should be doing, but do you know you? Do you know your true potential and what you can do? And when you recognize your true potential and what you're able to do, then you begin to know you. You can know you by knowing you. You don't need no one permission to learn about you. You don't need no one permission to tell you about you. Yeah, they can give advice. They can point out issues. A drunk person can be drinking out of a can on the street. If they tell you something that is the truth, you should accept it, even though if they have a liquor bottle in their hand, because they're telling you the truth. The truth will set you free. Yes, the truth will hurt. So we must begin to know who we are. Those of you who are struggling mentally and emotionally, find out your issue, find out your problem. Don't look at the other person. Don't say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that to make them come to me. Once you work on yourself, it's like dating someone. I keep meeting the same old man. I keep meeting the same old woman. Why? Because the thought that you're thinking, you're attracting that same man, that same woman back to you. So the thoughts that we think, you don't get what you want. We think we get what we want, but we get what we're thinking. Every man I meet is the same old kind of man. Every woman I meet is the same. Because the thought that you're thinking. You don't like this one. When you see a nice, attractive young woman with a tall man, he may be overly weight. You say, wow, that's kind of out. That's an attractive girl. Why should that man that's 200 or 300 pounds? They look out of place. But you know how they're together? Because what's in her mentally is also in him mentally. So when we look beyond the physical and recognize that we are with that, you are with that man, you are with that woman, you are in a relationship right now because both of you are thinking the same thing. If you are experiencing bad issues in that relationship, it's because it's coming from you too. You got to change the way. When you change the way you think, you won't be attracting that man, that certain kind of man, that certain kind of woman. When you change the way you think, you won't be hidden. You will pull up your pants and won't be sagging anymore. When you begin to think, you won't be wearing certain clothing to revealing that only your husband should be seeing. So when we change our thinking, when we begin to know us, so do you know you? And most people, sadly, going to say they do because they like what they had created for themselves. They like the world that they had created for themselves. They like the fictitious, the make-believe, the utopia world because they look good. They're beautiful. They're attractive. They got a nice car. They got a bling. They got gold. They can get any man they want. They got credit cards. They don't need a man for whatever. So that's how they find themselves. But yet they're still unhappy. They say money will solve the problem. Oh, really? I met a lot of people over the years that have thousands and millions of dollars and unhappy. So we must begin to know ourselves. Those who are lacking, those who need help, you must admit that you don't know you. Begin to question who, what, when, where, why, and how as it pertaining to understanding, do you know you? When you begin to understand you, you can be in a much better position to help others because you have helped yourself. You'll be in a much better position to do things for people without thinking, what's in it for me? You'll be in a much better person to be able to look at someone and help them because of your experience. And men's, you'll be in a much better place. When I give my videos, was it easy for me to share some of the stuff about what I went through in the videos that I shared? No, it was not. because I had set up myself as this particular person, and that was not me. I saw, I see even today when people say, Anthony, you are a good speaker, or you a good writer, or you good this and that. The young lady who did my last book, The Hidden Tears of Black Men, she said, Anthony, your book made me mad, but it's very good. I liked it. And I said, yeah. She said, Anthony, you don't take compliments very well. I said, you're right. She said, you ought not to do that because you're a very talented person. And I give a bunch of excuses, and I said, well, when I was growing up, did I get encouragement from family members and friends that I thought I should get? No. A lot of my family members and friends don't even know that I write, that I'm a writer, that I do the things I do. And I wanted it, but I never received it. So I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to accept it when people say good things about me. So I had a wrong misconception about me. But I'm growing out of it now. I'm admitting that I have that issue. I admitted I have that problem. I admit that I still struggle with accepting what people say, the good things about me, and the compensate. Really? I said, I did that? Wow. I gave a message to a young lady. They passed to someone. It led it to Daddy. And she said, wow, I read the letter to Daddy. And it made me realize that what other people are going through. It made me understand what other women, other family members are going through that did not have a daddy in the household. She said, I was raised, black woman, she said, I was raised in a black household and my daddy was always around me. So I didn't understand, and I did not understand what it was like not having a daddy in the household. But because you shared that and I was able to read it, it made me see what they are experiencing. I said, wow, I never looked at it that way. So I said, could you write up something? She said, I'm going to write it up to you, email it to you on how it touched your life. So things like that, when I share stuff with people and they respond back, I said, really? Because I must admit, I don't see myself in a way, I don't see myself when people say something about me in a good way. I struggle with what they say because I don't see what they see in me. And I said, that's bad. Maybe it's bad because I don't have a big head and I think I'm something. But it can also be a negative, which it have been. So I'm slowly getting out of that to be able to recognize and to be able to accept that other people do see a positive side in me. So it's my hope and prayer that what you have heard, share with other people. And I always say, if you have a topic that you want me to talk about, just hit me up and send it in the Facebook chat box. Nobody else can see it. I won't say why. I will say I got it from someone, but I won't use your name. You can tell me your story. I can twist it around where they won't know who you are. But allow what you're going through, be a blessing to other people. Because I'm sure I'm not the only man out there that have been in an abusive relationship with a woman that cussed you out and did not treat you like a man. And we men know what that is. You're not going to say I'm the only man that never been in a bar relationship where a woman cursed you out and give you a hard time and treat you with disrespect. You're not going to say I'm not the only woman where a woman tell you that you either do what I say or else and she withholds sex from you. You're not going to say you're not the only man when a woman says I don't need you for nothing and I don't even need you for that. You're not going to say I'm the only man that experienced this and you are so in tune in your relationship that you are going through. And if you're cheating on your wife, if you're cheating on your husband, then you don't know you. You allow those things to take place of your lack of self-esteem, pride, stubbornness. You don't want to admit that you have a problem. So it's our hope that when you listen to this and study it and meditate on it and apply it to your life, there's no doubt you will walk away and say, you know what? I thought I know me. I don't know me. I was deceived. I thought I knew me, but I didn't know me. And I learned from someone to ask me a question. Do you know you? It's a pleasure to share what I share with you. God willing, I'll be back Monday, same time, part 2 of interesting message. Will it be part 3, part 4? I don't know. But it will be maybe it might be the conclusion. It's my hope that you share with other people and allow them to hear what you heard. If you don't want to share it with someone, if you don't want to comment, that's fine. Because I learned that when people don't comment on things I say, because they don't want to agree with what I said, because they don't want their friends that may see their comment, oh, he agreed with him. Oh, I didn't know she was like that. I didn't know he was like that. So people have become, they don't know themselves. They allow people, don't let people control your comments. Don't let people control what you think. Be you for who you are. Say what's on your mind. Speak the truth. Don't lie and deceive and do whatever. Speak the truth, because when you speak the truth, it will help other people. Don't be afraid. Oh, well, I got a cute girlfriend. I got a cute boyfriend. I don't want to tell them that, they need to take a bath. I don't want to tell them that they need to go to work. I don't want to tell them because, they're good in the bed. I don't want to tell. No, you need to speak up and tell the truth about what you're going through and how you feel. Oh, I don't want to go to counseling because, people going to say, oh, we got problems in our marriage. So I'm going to smoke some dope, or find me a girl on the side or a man on the side, or get some alcohol. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to go away, whatever. So I'm just going to tolerate just to tolerate because he paid the bill. Because he paid the bill, I'm just going to look the other way. I know he got a man. I know he got a woman out there. I know he got a girl out there or whatever. And back in the day, they had this thing of down low brothers. Oh, I'm not committing adultery with my wife because I'm a down low brother. Because I have sex with a man, so I'm a down low brother, so I'm not committing adultery. We cannot be deceiving ourselves and say we can justify our behavior to take the place of, do we know us? Do you know you? And I'm quite sure on the side of my voice, somebody going to walk away and say, you know what? I thought I knew myself, and I don't know me from Adam to Eve, from A to Z, because I believed the lie about me. I believe what I have been told. I believe in the false belief that I can be this person, that person. That is why I'm struggling in my life. That's why I'm struggling in my workplace. That's why because I'm out of order. I'm not in my proper position because I need the truth. I need to change my way of thinking. I need to trust in the God that created me. I need to trust in his word. I need to trust in what he says about me, not what someone else say about me. I don't try to throw religion in my messages, but that's the truth, not my truth. We reap the things that we sow. You are experiencing things in your life right now because things that you have sown and what your ancestors have sown. You may not be aware of it. It's like everybody in my family died at 40. Everybody in my family wear glasses. Every woman wear glasses. Or whatever. Things do pass down from generation to generation. You don't believe it, that's fine. But that stop it from happening? No. Begin to know you. You, Y-O-U, not us, not them, not they, not we. Begin to know you. So when I come back to Monday, God willing, and I finish it, or maybe I do or maybe I don't. So when I come up with do you know you, sharing what I learned about me, sharing my behavioral analysis reports that I took that revealed me to me, and admit that is me in the report. No one took the report for me. I could have faked it and not answered the question the right way, which I did, and it still detect me and reveal me. But the positive of the results overwhelm the negative. Yes, we have negative thoughts, we have weaknesses in our lives. But don't allow the weaknesses to control you that you can't accomplish. You can't be something different, and you cannot achieve your goal. Begin to know you. From this day forward, say, I'm going to know me for who I am and who I should be. And when you begin to look in the mirror of self and discover that you are not the person you're supposed to be, you have a choice to stay where you are or to change it. Sadly, most people stay where they are and still complaining about what they're going through, how they're living, and blaming it on somebody else's race or sex money or whatever, and all come back to themselves. So thank you. It's my prayer that you take this message at heart, apply it to your lives, give it to someone and share it. Go to my YouTube channel, The Hidden Tears of Black Male. Look at the video section, hit the subscribe button. Because when I do start doing YouTube videos, it'll let you know that I'm doing something live. Go to my other YouTube channel, The Thoughts in the AM. He Still Speaks Now Listen. All these different channels I'm throwing up came up at various times. The Hidden Tears of Black Male is me, right? Any male or any female, different sex, that have problem dealing with self, I call those hidden tears. So that's why this message is going to go to hidden tears. The thoughts in AM is, depending on how I feel, I'll decide where it should go. So it's my prayer that you do wonders for others, act of charity, act of kindness. Don't do anything. Don't let yourself not do anything because you don't see the benefit of doing it for someone. If you buy them a lunch, if you buy them a bottle of water, if you buy them whatever, you did it because you did it. Not because you want something. I'm going to share something on that line when I come back Monday to let you know that a certain event happened in my life. Not bad. I didn't get hurt or anything. But it just came to my mind to share it with you. It falls in line with what I'm going to share. And you're going to say, wow, that actually did happen. My circumstances, what I experienced, reveal me. Not because I didn't do it before, I didn't do it in a great magnitude. I did it many times over and over. I can't even count the times I have did this particular thing. But at one time I didn't do it, and I paid the consequences for it. Not from sickness, but an understanding about me. Understanding that I need to begin to listen. Listen, 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 and die to self. It's my prayer that you receive what you need. Receive that what you need, not what you think you need, what you need. A job, a place to stay, food and clothing, shelter, a car, a good job, or whatever you need. Just simply ask. As one would say, the man upstairs, as the God as you know him. Because if you listen to what I'm saying, you listen to what I'm saying today. This message is for you to help you know. It's like the prescription, the doctor listen to your complaint. You laying on the couch. The psychiatrist say, okay, I heard your complaints. He write out the finding and say, here you go. Do this and you'll be better. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's hogwash. That don't apply to me. You got me wrong. This is me. You don't know who I am. You know, I'm a man. I got this job. I got a 5-figure job. I got this nice wife. I got in this house. I can't do this. I can't be seen doing these things. I cannot be seen letting this go and that go. Right. You have the choice. You must decide. Do you want to stay in the mindset that you are? Or do you want to begin to know and begin to ask yourself this question? Do you know you? Thank you. God bless.